Three, two, one. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and it is... What day is today? Tuesday. At March 23rd. And it is Storytime Live. And I am dragging ass. There's a guy in the chat. Ed Brewer knows why. Oh, God. Supposed to be an adult, be responsible, not stay up all night and go to work. Anyways, how are you guys? Is Zach Richmond #1? Hey, how you doing, man? Ronnie's in the house. Good to see you. Let's see. Not too many people here tonight. Melissa's in the chat. Ed Brewer's here. He says he's here right on time. Nice. Doug is in the house. I'd like to hear acoustic version of Ash's intro music. I don't know if that's possible to do. That would be interesting to see someone adapt some chip tunes into some acoustic. Oh, man. Let's start the timer already. There you go. If you're new to Ash on Comics Storytime Live, the whole format of this is a hangout stream. We didn't talk about comics or geek culture or whatever the chat's into, and we'll just let some time go by so people can stroll in. I don't want to just start the reading, which is the primary thing of the stream, as we read some comics. And tonight we're going to be reading the third part. See, we're doing an 8-part series called Superman, Lois, and Clark. This is the road to Rebirth. So this is the end of the New 52 as they were about to launch Rebirth, and they were tying up some loose ends and so forth. And one of those loose ends was the fact that Superman, as we know him, and his wife, Lois Lane, and their young child that they had just had, Jonathan and Kent, had escaped Flashpoint, that big event that kind of threw the DC universe into chaos. They had escaped that. Where everyone else kind of was affected by it, they had escaped it and found their way into the New 52 universe. Now, the problem is the New 52 universe already had its own Superman and a full cast of DC heroes. So they decided to take the identity, instead of Kent, they decided to take the Whites. So they are Clark and Lois White, which I have to say, this is something I just thought about. that I don't really like about the CW TV show is that Lois doesn't take Clark's name. I really like in this version we're reading here, she's Lois White. She's not Lois Lane. Now, if she still wants to use Lois Lane as a pen name for her articles, of course that makes sense. But never marry a woman that won't take your last name, boys. Trust me. If she won't take your last name, she ain't sticking around, no matter what she promises. That's my jaded viewpoint of the world that no one asked for. I'm glad you guys are here. See, Melissa says she's getting Jake some McDonald's. Well, how come you're not getting me some McDonald's? I want some McDonald's. No, not really. I'm not that hungry right now. But I could go for an iced coffee. Man, I've been caffeinated up. I got Ed to play some Valheim with me, so finally I'm not alone in my quest to serve Odin and reach Valhalla. Ed has been joining me on some adventures, and we've been having a lot of fun. And damn, we stayed up. I don't know. I don't know what Ed's schedule is going on, but I stayed up way too late. I think I got like 3 hours sleep. I'm just not a spring chicken anymore. It was once upon a time when I was young, man, I could go 3 hours sleep, whatever. As long as I didn't do it multiple days in a row. Holy shit. Today was a struggle. Hey, Eric Breen has decided to grace us with his presence. How are you doing, Eric? Good to see you. I guess we know what happened to the first Mrs. on Comics. Oh. Are you trying to, I don't know what you would call that. My brain's not working. Zach says, iced coffee, you say. Guess what I'm drinking tonight? Oh, you bastard. You bastard. I had an iced coffee from McDonald's today, as a matter of fact. This morning. That was the first thing I had. And then I had a Monster. And then when I was out and about on the road, I don't know if you guys have in your area convenience store called AM PM. Anyways, I went to AM PM, and one of the things I like about AM PM is that they actually have an energy drink in their fountain, which is pretty good because energy drinks are expensive. But when you have like 79-cent fountain drinks, it's better. So I got one of those. So I had a large iced coffee, a Monster, and then one of those today. And I'm still like zombie. And now I'm drinking Pepsi. Choice of old generation. It used to be the choice of a new generation, and then that generation got old. Let's see. I'm really stretching it. I'm pushing for content. I think once I get reading, it'll be good. But until then. So, yeah, Comixology. Let's go over here. This is some content I like to think right now. What's on sale? Eric's going away again because he doesn't like me anymore. He used to be one of my biggest regulars, and now he just comes in here to rub it in, salt in the wounds that he won't watch my show anymore. I get how it is. No, he's got to work in the morning, so that sucks. Did not get sleep. He's 3 hours ahead of me, so I am empathetic. The one day out of the year I'm empathetic with Breen is today. So Marvel's having a sale, a Kieran Gillen sale. Some people, there's a lot of, well, I don't want to say that. There's Kieran Gillen's one of those creators that some people either just truly love or I never hear anyone talk about. Good night, Eric. Sweet dreams. Find me some good comics. I don't know what else to say. Are you guys Kieran Gillen fans? When I came back into comics, several years ago. I was not familiar with all the new names. I'm familiar with all the old dogs these days. That's what they are. So I had to learn. I was like, oh, who's the new hot talent? Me and my innocent self not knowing. And Karen Gillan was a name that came up quite a bit. And checked him out on his indie stuff. And I wasn't really that impressed. So I don't know if his Marvel stuff was any better. Some people seem to really like. Nay. Some people really love what he does. But then some other people, I don't hear anyone here say anything like terrible, though. I don't hear any animosity. It's not like a Bendis or a Tom King where people are just like, F that dude. I never hear any of that from Karen Gillan. I usually just hear like, oh, that guy's the greatest. Or I hear people go, meh, whatever. I guess that's something. He did Iron Man run, apparently. I never hear Ronnie talk about it, so I'm assuming it's probably not good. I'm assuming. You know what they say about assuming. He did some Star Wars books. I won't read any Star Wars comics. I don't understand the appeal of Star Wars comics, especially because they seem to be most widely consumed by the people who are most upset about the sequels or the prequels, or like the pure, like, oh, they don't know how to do Star Wars, and then they go, but the extended universe stuff and the books and the comics, that's all great. And I'm like, what? People complained about Luke Skywalker drinking green milk in Last Jedi, and then they got shit like moons crashing onto Chewbacca in the books. I'm just like, you guys are cool with that, but I don't know. I figure there's very few people good enough to write a Star Wars story that I would find acceptable. And of those people, almost none of them are writing comics. And of those people that are writing comics, they're never going to write a Star Wars comic. Like, so it's just, they put, I don't know. I'm not going to be leaguer at this point. Joe Corallo has joined the audience here. And thank you, Joe, for showing up. He says, I really like the Journey into Mystery run. Young Avengers, Wick Div. Is that Wicked and Divine? Oh, yeah, Wicked and Divine. Liking Once and Future, currently skip his X-Men. Okay. I did read the first issue of Once and Future back when it came out. Did a review for the channel. I found it surprisingly mediocre. And I didn't really continue to explore the book because here's why. So many people were raving about that issue. Oh my God, this Once and Future King is the greatest thing ever. And I was like, ugh. Now, if I had heard a lot of people go, oh, yeah, this book's just okay, but this is not indicative of Karen Gillan's normal stuff. Like, trust me, you got to like hang in there. I'd have been like, oh, okay. But they were using that as an example of how great his writing is. And I was like, this isn't that great. There's a lot of amateurish stuff, which I'm not going to go into detail here. If you are curious, you can dig up that episode, Once and Future. It's in there in the video somewhere. And I will detail through the power of recorded technology on the cloud. And you can see me. I don't even remember exactly what I said. My brain is it's like on autopilot right now. Let's see. Man, I'm getting all sorts of responses. This is good. I guess I should ask more questions for the chat. Doug says, I had a bottle of Mexican Coke from Chipotle yesterday. The receipt actually said Mexican Coke on it. Well, that's how they sell it. I think it's very interesting that Coke won't do a cane sugar version in the United States, but they'll import the Mexican Coke because it's popular. People want it. I'm drinking right now the real sugar version of Pepsi, which is way better than normal Pepsi. I don't know why Pepsi doesn't just make this their Pepsi. I've only written a corporation maybe once or twice in my entire life, and one of those times, if not the only time, I can't remember for sure, was about this Pepsi because I believe in it this much, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Just Stop. I guess the corn syrup's probably cheaper. Man. Let's see. But yeah, Mexican Coke, it's great. You got to buy it in the glass bottle, and usually you have to buy it at a restaurant, and that means usually you're paying like $3 for a bottle of Coke. But I just wish they would sell in a can, just cane sugar Coke, please. Although I will admit too, Mexican Coke isn't really. I don't really notice a difference in it like I do with the Pepsi. I mean, the main difference is you're drinking out of a glass bottle. I think if you just drank regular Coke out of a glass bottle instead of a can or a plastic bottle, you'd notice a difference too. I do like those Avengers versus X-Men books that he did. It was 2 stories an issue, and the stories were just brawls between 2 characters. Not necessarily any story, just a fun fight. Oh, so is he one of the originators of the pro wrestling format of comic writing that I despise? That is just becoming the norm of this. How we write comic scripts these days is just think of it like a wrestling match. That the Marvel Universe is just a ring, and it's always about pitting a heel and a face against each other. Because that's what modern cape comics have become, and it sickens me. That's all. Oh my God, Jason Aaron's Avengers is just literally a pro wrestling tournament. X's Swords was, I mean, hey, it's just, there's, I get it. Some people like pro wrestling, and if you're one of those people, I'm not making fun of you, but I am making fun of the comics because comics aren't pro wrestling unless it's a pro wrestling comic, which they have those, and I think that's really weird. It's really weird, but not everything's for me, as I'm often told. Marani says, I like Gillen's stuff until issue number 17 of his run. I haven't read any other stuff by him, at least not that I can recall. All right. Let's see. His Iron Man was also not good. Yes, says Joe. You guys are awesome. Let's see. There was a green bunny in the Star Wars comics. Yeah, wasn't that the original Marvel run? Like, way back in the day. Zach says the Star Wars comics are also pretty good. They take place between episodes 4, 5, and 5, 6. No, Zach. I'm sorry. No, they're not. I'm sorry. They're drivel. They're drivel. I expected more from Charles Soule. When he was copying like what Lucas had done, and he felt like he was writing fan fiction, but like he was trying to replicate the scripts, and he was writing the scene like, how his new run started off like it was taking place like right after Empire Strikes Back. He felt like he was writing scenes that were like cutting room floor. And I feel like that was the strongest part. And as soon as he deviated away from that and like put in his own creation stuff, it just went off a cliff. And I was like, what the hell am I reading here? I couldn't stand it. But then again, I guess I'm not too hypercritical on it because I don't expect Star Wars comics to be good. Like I said, it's just there, I guess. I Star Wars is too big to me. Like it'd be like, how do I say? If you were, I don't even know what to say. Try to draw an analogy. I like Star Wars too much to accept watered down, like watered down toast. Like I don't want, who wants toast that's watery? Like, yeah, I guess that's a bad analogy, but it sounded funny. Not really. My friend Tony Jennings is an original EU fan. There's a lot of people who are EU fans. I don't understand. I really tried because look, I'm a diehard I've been a Star Wars fan since 1977. Seen all the films originally in theaters. It's the biggest fandom thing in my life that I've had. And once upon a time we didn't have Star Wars new Star Wars movies. We just had the original 3 and we watched them a million times. And then one day, Lucasfilm said, "Hey, we're going to release a Star Wars comic for the first time since way back in the old Marvel days, and Dark Horse is going to do it." And I was like, "What?" And I was at San Diego Comic-Con, they were announcing it, and Dark Horse had a big thing, and I was like, "What?" And that was truly great. Tom Veitch wrote it, Cam Kennedy art. Brilliant. It's the only non-Star Wars thing that I feel like lives up to Lucas's ideas. Now, it's unfortunately the prequels that Lucas did kind of made that story not work, but at the time, it's I loved it. And Tom Veitch, man, that guy has hardly written anything. I was like, I gotta find what more of this stuff this guy's written. It's like he just came and went, and it's like, wow. And then, what's his nuts did the Heir to the Empire book trilogy, which came out shortly, I think like a year later. And I was all excited because, the author was like a real sci-fi author, and they weren't just getting in some clown to do it like a lot of these type of books like they do nowadays. I'm looking at you, Chuck Wendig. Oh my God. If you want, if you ever have a chance to read Chuck Wendig's Star Wars, like, what do you do? The Aftermath stuff, I think is what it's called. If you're just in Barnes and Noble, stop by, pull off and just flip open the book and just read a random page. His writing is so atrocious. Like, seriously, it's like 6th grade fanfic. Like, it's like he doesn't even have a grasp of English. Like, not that he doesn't have a grasp of English. He doesn't have a grasp of literary English. Like, his writing, and I say this because I'm bad. I need a good editor to like, go through my work and correct a lot of my bad grammar and things too. But this guy's being published by a big company. Like, it's so, I wish I had an example right now to read you, because as bad as you're thinking it could possibly be, it's worse. I've never read anything that bad that wasn't like in like high school English creative writing classes from like other students. It's even that I can't even. Anyways, I don't know why I'm going down that rabbit hole. FF2's here. He says, Sup, Skip and Tosh, Kyron Gillen, Darth Vader run, dope AF. All right. Timothy Zahn says to heal him. Yeah, that's the guy's name. I tried to blank it out. As good as people want to remember it, I don't think. You know what? Actually, my biggest problem with it is it wasn't a Star Wars book. It felt like a sci-fi book. And in hindsight, I was like, yeah, that was a big mistake. You shouldn't put a sci-fi author on Star Wars because Star Wars isn't sci-fi. It's space fantasy. Nothing makes sense. I don't need an explanation of how a lightsaber works. I don't need an explanation of how TIE fighters sound in space when there is no sound in space, or a Death Star. Not only how does a Death Star work, but why are the decks in like top to bottom configuration like a building, instead of, if it's just a sphere as big as a moon, why doesn't it have its own gravity? And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you shouldn't get into the hows and the whys. It's just, there's spaceships and they fly, and there's laser swords and they just work, and there's a force thing, and there's no creatures that scientifically are immune to the force, and we're going to explain why. Like, no, you're doing it wrong. You got way too much into the sciencey stuff, and it ruined the pacing. Imagine if Lucas would have stopped at one point and like tried to explain how the force oh wait, he did midichlorians. Yep, see what I mean? Now you know. Tried to join for an important public comic announcement, but Ash switched his setup. Oh, I didn't know anyone was going to join. Hold on a second. We can correct things. We have the technology. Stand by. Stay on target. You can come in, Mr. Skippity Tosh, or anyone else that has access to the live stream. This is just a hangout section. It's very informal. Let's see. I don't know why I'm sitting here banging on EU. I shouldn't. It's a losing battle. I won my high school's creative writing award. Just saying. Yeah, boy. And you're not writing shitty Star Wars novels. Just saying. Just saying. Sorry. So sound effects of TIE fighters in Star Wars movies isn't valid now. No, they're valid. It's space fantasy. I'm cool with it. Lucas was all about imagery and symbolism and using like Pulp Fiction tropes to tell stories through signs and signals. You know, that's why did things like why you never see under a stormtrooper's mask. These are things because Lucas wanted his story. He wanted to purposely dehumanize stormtroopers, so you didn't think of them as people when they died. You just thought of them as an adversary. And then later on the prequels, it was actually robots. But he wanted you to think of that way, which, of course, Disney didn't understand, because the very first thing Disney did when it got a hold of Star Wars, like, let's unmask the stormtroopers. And let's also make them a marginalized race, because even in Star Wars, the color skin receives the same treatment of things, apparently. Fuck. It's like, that's why Darth Vader was all in black, because the whole Western trope of the bad guy wearing a black hat type thing. Why lightsabers? Why the color of lasers and stuff? Why were lightsabers red versus blue versus green? Originally it was just blue and red because red was bad guys, blue was good. Simple. There's no science. It was just storytelling techniques, something that the audience could understand. That goes back all the way to stage production. Very simple things. That made sense. And then later on, other people get a hold of Star Wars and they go, we got to figure it out. There's got to be some sort of reason why it's red. Because red is blood and anger. And when a Sith Lord gets a hold of a kyber crystal, he corrupts it. And normally it's not red, but until he corrupts it, it turns red. And you're just like, you just wrote the scientific explanation for a laser sword. You're doing it wrong. Sorry. I have very strong opinions on Star Wars, so you should not get me wound up. I would recommend Avengers Return by Kurt Busiek, or any of the Avengers up to Heroes Reborn. Avoid issue 200 of volume 1. It's infamously cringy. Oh, see, now we have to read the issue, Maranya. If it's infinitely cringy. Zax's Kurt Busiek's Avengers run is pretty great. I have heard that. I have heard people tell me that Avengers Forever is one of the best Avengers run. And that's one that's I've had on my radar. Skip is in the green room. I see you got mute on, Skip. If you want to say something, say hello. You are good to go.
Just waiting for the green light. Hello, everyone. How's it going?
Good afternoon.
Is that what I have to do,
or evening?
Ash? Well, thank you. So is that what I have to do to actually get you to read like comics that I want? Is to lie to you and tell you that they're cringy? So you read them on stream, and in the midst of it, you're like, Skip is totally wrong. This is actually like really good. Like, wow, Kieran Gillen, this Vader is not bad.
Oh my goodness! As if I don't read comics. I think that I am currently in the middle of not only reading your favorite comic of all time, but like building a show around it, and I'm gonna erect a temple of worshiping Hickman. Like, come on, that's not entirely fair. I'm a little.
We'll leave out the part about how it took like a year and a half for you to even like read.
I'm a procrastinator.
That's okay.
It wasn't like I was reading someone else's recommendations though. It wasn't that. It just, I mean, here and there.
I got it. Exactly. because we were talking throughout that whole
Hey,
time.
hey!
You were reading other
You
people's
were instrumental in
recommendations.
getting me to read Hawks and Pox. I wasn't gonna touch that crap. I mean, it's not crap. I thought it was gonna be crap, but you were instrumental in that. I mean, it was a process. I wasn't just gonna immediately, like, the first day I met you, like, oh, Skip's recommendations are gold. I don't know who Skip is. He's recommending an X-Men book. Holy crap, that's crazy. And then I was like, oh, he was right. Holy shit, this is good. Anyways, did you have some cosmic announcement? I heard there was a cosmic announcement. I don't know. Zach says, but come on, Ash, gold blade lightsabers are awesome. No, I don't think so.
I don't have so much of a problem with them.
I don't really like the rain. Like, I don't like all the fruity pebbles, every color in the rainbow, plus more of lightsabers. We found a way to have black and white lightsabers as well.
Dark saber's cool, man. Just saying.
Not for me. It's not.
No, yeah. Sorry about that odd pause. It was my earpod had stopped working, so I had to switch over to the other one. No, the only announcement I had, and I know, I've been telling you about it for a year, so within the next 6 months, probably the sweet spot of when you might read it. But yeah, Karen Gillan's Darth Vader run. I'll say it a bunch of times. Like, that is out of all the, well, I don't want to say out of all the Star Wars comic books, that was the only one that I like. But that was easily the best out of all of them that I read. And I read some of Jason Aaron's mainline. I read the first Darth Maul one. I read the Anakin and Obi-Wan one, which is pretty cool. It wasn't great, but it was pretty solid overall. I read some of the Dr. Aphra because I was reading the Darth Vader one, so it came after that. I didn't really like any of the ones that Charles Soule did personally. Dang, I'm trying to remember. I was into a lot of those. I read and have the Princess Leia one that the Dodsons did. Like, I was really into a lot of those, so I read quite a bit of them. But by and large, easily like the best one was Karen Gillan's Darth Vader run, hands down. There's no.
So this one right here.
Hold on, I gotta go
with
back
LaRocca art.
Watching. Yeah. If it's got LaRocca art and it's got a Mark Brooks or Adi Granov cover, then yeah.
All right.
He only did. Because it was 4 volumes.
It's on Comixology Unlimited, so I can read some of it. My problem is, man, my stack is it's like a freaking mountain, and that's why honestly I don't read a lot of stuff that people recommend. Is not because I'm not reading; I just haven't gotten to it. And I have a lot of things I go, oh, I'll put that on my bucket list there. I readily admit I'm hypersensitive when it comes to Star Wars. So that's usually why I stay away, because a lot of people are like, oh, it's good. And I'm like, I'm already a snob. When it comes to Star Wars, I'm a super snob. So.
I mean, that's cool. I get it. I'm like, I already know.
I'm actually going to give Once and Future another shot, because I only read the first issue. And a lot of people have been liking it. And I'm a big Arthurian fan. Like, I love Arthurian lore and stories. So any takes on it like that? I mean, that's why I was attracted to it in the beginning. I feel like I got to try.
For sure. I mean, like, I know how you are with Star Wars. I don't have the expectation that you're gonna love it. I can only speak to how I feel about it. I am very specific about Star Wars and my Star Wars taste. I think I'm a little more, or a little, I don't know the word to call. I'm more open in what I'm willing to allow into Star Wars, I guess, so to speak. Because my era was, like, I started watching it with the originals, and then that wasn't 90. So what? So that was about like 7 or 8 years before the prequels came out. So, but I mean, look, my whole thing about it is, if you don't like this one, I don't think you're going to like very many of the other ones, especially if you're not a big prequels fan and didn't like Darth Maul, which I think was probably one of
Darth Maul's one of my favorite characters ever.
Oh, okay. Well, then the first Darth Maul series that they did after Kathleen Kennedy took over is really, really solid. Really captures the character very well. But
Hmm.
the Darth Vader one was, to me, and to most people, obviously,
See,
saw
I
in the chat,
thought
like everybody was talking
I,
about it,
I'm sketchy on that. I'm
especially
not
on what?
discounting what you say, but I thought that I kind of not that I lost interest in Darth Maul. He's still one of my favorite. I love the prequels version, but I thought, God, what's his nuts that does the animated stuff, the Clone Wars and everything. I'm drawing not Pablo Hidalgo, the other guy. Um,
Oh, yeah, with the cowboy hat.
yeah. Anyways, I thought that
Yeah,
he kind of ruined Darth Maul. For me, I thought he fundamentally didn't get the character, and he turned him into this like talky kind of villain. And I was like, the reason why I think Darth Maul, for me, what I loved about Darth Maul is he was not talk. He was like the opposite of Vader. He was just like, I'm gonna come kill you. Like
yeah.
while you're
Well,
sitting
I
here
was
going,
a fan
hey, who
of
are
that.
you? What are you doing? He's like, "Ugh." Vader would
Yeah,
sit there and talk and be like, oh, now you are going to understand the power of the dark side. And he like have this monologue. Darth Maul
yeah.
didn't do that. And then all of a sudden in the
He
Clone
didn't.
Wars, he's like, let me talk about all this stuff. And I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah,
He's,
for sure. I'm
um,
not speaking to that. I
okay.
didn't particularly love the characterization of Darth Maul in there. I don't particularly even like the only fact, the only thing that I like about them bringing him back is that he's back. I didn't like how
Yeah.
they did it. I like as much as I like that he's back, I don't like it because I like how he ended and all of that stuff.
The one
But
thing the one thing I was really actually encouraged by was the ending of Solo, the movie.
yeah, yeah,
Because I was like, oh, this could lead into so many good places. And it's like, and
yeah,
actually, if you're going to bring Darth Maul back, it actually is like a fitting way. Like, it makes sense that he's like the ultimate lord of the underworld, like hiding in the
yeah,
shadows.
right,
And I was like, oh, you could do so much of this. But then the Solo movie failed so bad. I'm like, oh, they're going to scrap all of this because of the money, right? The
yeah,
bean counters are going to be like, nope,
right.
abort. I
For
was like,
sure.
dang
But
it.
yeah, the Darth Maul comic is closer to the way that we see him in the prequels, and that's why I talked about the prequels.
Oh, okay. That's encouraging then.
Yeah, and I'm saying the first one because there was another one after, and I don't remember if it was Charles Soule that did it or someone after, but that one I did not like. I read issue number one, and I was like, nah, this don't like it. I don't know how it was just flat basically, and not it didn't carry the spirit of the character over. It was very much like Darth Maul comic because the name Darth Maul is on the front of it, and we can draw someone that looks like him with the same colors. The first one was like embodying the character of what we know from when we originally seen him.
Hmm. All right. All right. Um. Well, it's gonna be time to get on. Did you get a chance to make your announcement? My brain is on
No, it's all
it's
good.
on low
Like I said,
power mode.
yeah, I know you're running on a little sleep and a lot of a lot of assistance, a lot of stimulants.
Yeah.
No. Like I said, my announcement was just that if you like, if you're going to read Star Wars comic, read Karen Gillan's Darth Vader run. If you don't, if that's not the one that you like very much, then
Gotcha.
I don't think majority of them are really going to get in because that was easily the best characterization and the best story as well. Like even like
Hmm.
I said, even past because I know they flip flop and he ended up taking over on the Star Wars main line. I only read a few of those and then I got out of it. But by that time, Jason Aaron had already gone, and I get it. Like I know some people are cool with like the odd, you know, what I'm saying monsters and stuff, and I like monsters. I like kaiju, so I like monsters, and I can get down with it to a second. But once you start getting to like, you know, what I'm saying space vampires and all that, I was like, all right, Jason Aaron, this is the stuff that you do where you kind of go a little out of like you found a good place, a good base, and you stay there. But once you start to venture out, you just lose your way real quick, man.
Hmm. Yeah. All right. Like I said, it's on unlimited, so I feel when I'm not paying for something, I can be a little bit or a lot more forgiving. But when you make me go pay $3.99 an issue, and then I get to the end of issue 6, and I'm like, this was trash. Then I start thinking, wait a minute, I just dumped like 25, $25 on this. what the hell? Like, then but if I just read it, like if someone loans it to me or something and it's trash, I can go, it wasn't for me, and I can move on. I don't have that emotional, like, connection because I didn't pay. I just wasted a little bit of time. But, so yeah, so
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
cool.
Just
It's
just read
encouraging.
it on the crapper, bro.
Read it on the crapper. Um,
Yeah.
no, I mean, I want to like it. And it could be good. I'm not opposed to the idea that there's some gems that I have never discovered. It's mostly because I don't want to go through the effort of trying to read, that much stuff to find the hidden gems. It's like why I don't read a ton of Bendis. It's like, well, but there's something good out there, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm not gonna read 20 years of crap so I can find the one good Bendis story. Like if someone points it out to me and says, read this, then like you did. Here, read this one. I go, okay, I'll try this one. I need a curator.
Yeah.
Zach says, I don't mind Filoni. I think he's got some good stories that he's told. Zach, I agree with you. Avatar, The Last Airbender, Dave Filoni wrote a lot of those stories, and a lot of the good episodes were by Dave Filoni. And I'm like, wow, this feels more like Star Wars and his Clone Wars stuff. I was really shocked. Like, I wish he would go back to writing that stuff. But his Mandalorian, his Clone Wars, I am not on the Filoni bandwagon. And I know a lot of people are, so different folks, different strokes. Some of us like regular Cheerios. Some of us like Honey Nut Cheerios. Some of us don't like Cheerios at all.
Who likes regular Cheerios?
I like regular Cheerios. You don't like regular Cheerios?
No, they're just inferior to Honey Nut Cheerios. That's all they are.
Well, I like them both, but
okay. Well,
sometimes
fine.
I don't know. I haven't had regular Cheerios in a long time, but I do like them. All right. Darth Maul novels were pretty good, says Tehillim. Don't care about Kathleen Kinney garbage, says Melissa. Surprise, Melissa doesn't like it. Doug says, in the Black Knight #1 from Marvel last week, Thor identifies himself as a comrade. Maybe he needs a sickle to go along with his hammer. Comrade. Oh my gosh. My buddy has been watching the Avengers animated show Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which is a pretty decent.
Yeah.
I
liked it.
It's pretty decent as far as cartoons made for the kids and Avengers, and I was pretty impressed at how they pull from a lot of different like Marvel classic stories. Like I just saw the Beta Ray Bill one, and I was like, well, he didn't do it as good as the comics, but whatever. I was okay. This is cool, but I can't help every time they just call him Prince of Thunder. They refuse to call him a god in that show, and it just stands out to me as a sore thumb. And once I noticed it, I can't not like it, and I feel like they just go out of their way to say Prince. And I'm like, why are you calling? It sounds so dumb to call Thor a prince. He's not He-Man. Anyways, yeah, that's what that comrade. It says kicks is whack. RDV is lurking. Earth's Mightiest Heroes is a great cartoon. Art style was cool, and they pulled from some great stories. Yep, which I just said. Wish they'd gotten a third season. Well, that's the breaks. All right, folks.
The one after was pretty good too.
Oh, which one was that?
It was just another Avenger style one. I forgot the exact name, but it was another Avenger style one. I feel like Earth's Mightiest Heroes was a little better, but the one after that wasn't bad.
I'm pretty impressed in that Earth's Mightiest Heroes that they got a voice actor that really sounds a lot like Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And which is weird to me because I watched the show and I'm like, wow, you guys went out of your way to make Iron Man like the MCU Iron Man, but then you made Thor nothing. I'm like, Asgard is completely different, and I was like, this is weird to me. I figure you would commit all or nothing. Like, let's make all the characters like the MCU, or make none of them. Let's do our own thing. Not like, hey, this is the Iron Man from MCU, and this is Thor from who knows where. Like, Odin's this big bruiser barbarian guy, and he's got 2 eyes for some reason. I don't know why that is, but.
Animated, the way that they adapt animated shows, there is just this kind of different lens that they pull them through. They definitely don't go for like a one-to-one type deal, even when it seems like they're very compartmental, like with like, okay, we're definitely gonna match this to this, but this we got an opportunity to do something different here. That's a reoccurring thing I've kind of noticed as I've gotten older and either gone back and watched old ones, but
Right.
especially with a lot of the new ones,
Well, I
like
wouldn't
yeah,
even
they
have
don't
noticed.
always.
I would not even have
Mhm.
noticed, except that it feels like so deliberate that Iron Man is the movie Iron Man. that's
Oh, for sure.
and that's what
Yeah, I
makes me
definitely
go,
wasn't by
oh,
accident.
wait, why are these other? If Iron Man was just not, and they had been creative with all the different characters, it just would have been like, oh, okay, this is their take on these characters, whatever. But I'm like, oh, it feels weird because like
Hmm.
half the team is from the movies and half's not. I don't fully get it. I guess I'll just like maybe because the MCU was only partly unveiled at the time. Maybe that's probably the reason why. Um,
Yeah.
all right. Speaking about MCU, we need to cut this conversation. We need to put on intermission, as I like to say for Zack Snyder movies. It's time for intermission. Get yourself a snack. I don't know how that thing goes. It's been so long since I made movies with intermissions. We're going to read a comic because that's what I promised to do, and I can't go back on my promises, or people like Skip will come on my show and berate me publicly of how I didn't keep my promise. Now I feel bad, Skip. Um, all right, guys. I hope you guys have been following along. Skip, you're welcome to hang around in chat, in voice, wherever you want. Make yourself at home. And I am going to try to get my computer thingies working. There we go. This is how you know we're about to start the comic. This is Lois and Clark, Superman, Rebirth. I talked about the premise in the beginning. We are now on issue 5 of 8. And Superman is still kind of hidden. The real the 52, new 52 Superman and the Justice League, they don't really know of his existence, but because he's Superman, he can't leave things alone. He can't stand by while the world needs him, because even the new 52 Superman can't be everywhere at once, and he's also a young, inexperienced guy. So he's having kind of his own adventure. We're getting to see the first beginnings of young John Kent. Rest in peace. And this cover, I really, really, really love this cover. So I just want to sit here and stare at it all day. But let's go ahead and get on to reading. And here we go. Several years ago, I almost told him. Really? Clark? Why? I'm not really sure, Lois. Kind of hard to explain. Maybe because even though he isn't the man I knew, he's still Batman. How is he different from our Batman? Can't really say without knowing him. Fighting style is the same, maybe a bit faster. That's difficult to believe, Clark. Theoretically possible. He is younger, after all. But even with all that skill, he needed help. I'm still trying to understand why you nearly announced yourself. Maybe because I thought of him as a colleague, Lois. A friend. Someone I could count on above all others. I miss that. Not that it matters. He's a different Bruce Wayne. One who calls a different Clark Kent Superman. My opinion? You need a friend. Someone besides me. I don't. It's okay, Clark. There's more to life than just this house. Which John is going to find out since he's about to start school. I'll miss him terribly, but it'll be nice having time to write. Not mall openings for the Valley paper. I'm talking real investigative work. Despite your accomplishments, you've been working far beneath your skill level. I'm sorry. We're a family. I did what was necessary to generate income. Not like you could crush coal into diamonds. We were true journalists. Some of the best the Daily Planet ever saw. And now we're here on a different Earth, living under assumed names in Northern California, isolated and alone, masking what we're truly capable of. How could I have brought us here? You and John deserve better. Hiding who and what we are, it's a hard way to live, Lois. But necessary for John's safety. Like I said, we're a family. We're doing what we must for his sake. And I am more than okay with that. We have to make the best of things. One day, we'll be able to tell him our secret. But that day isn't today. Today, we celebrate. Right as always. Who's ready for cake? I am. About time you got home, son. I was afraid you were going to miss the party. Don't be silly, Shell. The Clark White I know would never miss his boy's birthday. Right you are, Lynn. He's been flying around like a madman trying to get everything we need for today. Can I open my presents now? Right after you make a wish, honey. Oh, boy. Happy birthday to... They sing happy birthday. Since the day we arrived, I did what I could to make our lives happy. Now, unless I turn things around, I'll lose everything. The present. John, Lois, they're my life. Can't let myself be beaten. Ever. The Superman's thoughts. I cannot detect them, Henshaw. It's over. Dropping a mountain on him? Now that's a creative death. A memorable death. My question now, how do we get from here, wherever here is, to civilization? A city. Influencing you in a more beneficial direction. Not that I'm sure you need it. There is something about you, something unique, that I can't quite put my finger on. What are you doing to me? That ship up there. You're an astronaut, Henshaw. Let's say I relax my influence over you. Can you fly it? Sounds like a yes to me. My ship. I'm starting to remember, Bert. Is that a phone? Yes? Clara? Who is this? Who are you? I'm afraid the man of the house is unavailable, dear. I'd be happy to take a message. What did you say your name was? The woman I've seen in his mind, I assume. The child. Is he with you as well? Who are you? How are you doing this? I'm coming for a visit, you know. We have so much to talk about. No, you don't! Boom. Goodness, have I hit a nerve? She's more important to you than I thought. Blank has killed thousands. Left a trail of pain, suffering, blood, and death wherever he's gone. Get off me! His TK powers, his ability to feel thoughts and influence minds, make him almost impossible to confine. Whatever I have to do to beat him, Krang, is justified. The nice thing about this humble abode of yours is that it has toys. Useful toys. Ow. Bram. The Kund warsuit. He's taking control of it? Clark? Clark! What's happening? I'm disappointed. A man that can crawl out from under a mountain? Ugh. Should be able to put more of a fight. But if you can't, you can't. How can I construct a suitably epic death scene if you can't fight back? These alien controls, hard to decipher. Whoever you are, you don't live up to the standard your doppelganger has set. What? Yeah! How? Henshaw. Has to be. No, I'm not sure that's entirely a good thing. Whoop. Take it from here, Superman. Didn't realize the ship had weapons. Can't let this chance go to waste. I've stopped your murderous onslaught by putting you away once. Urgh. I'll do it again. No! Amazing. Henshaw, the man who approximates one of my deadliest enemies, Cyborg Superman, saved me from one of my deadliest enemies here. You can't do this to me. I just did. The neural blocker will keep you from reaching out to influence anyone else. I still don't see how you were able to take control of Henshaw. You won't be able to keep me here. I will get out. There's something about him, isn't there? Something that made him accessible. Superman? Britannia. I wanted to help. I know. But if you set foot outside that envirocell, I die. I'll keep looking for a place that you can survive. I promise. And me? You too, Klon. This place isn't a prison for everyone. See you soon, Glenn. We'll keep your cell open because we know you'll be back. Bleep you. Bradley Glenn, this is your lucky day. New Mexico. Who are you? Trish Riddick, Mr. Glenn. I'm with a brand new reality show called Badass Nation. I want you to be a star. Freak shows don't interest me. Even though we give you a suit of armor that you can tear things up? With cameras following you on every move? Sounds like a one-way ticket back. Not when your targets are decrepit bridges and buildings slated for destruction anyway. We can give viewers a sense of what it's like to be a supervillain and save government money. You'll be a rich star. By the time you're done, no one will dare mess with you, because you'll be America's favorite badass. Huh. Tell me more. The crash site where Henshaw's shuttle went down, since he shows no sign of being an enemy, is the perfect place to take him. Despite the fact that there is something unsettling about him, I still don't understand why you brought me to that weird place of yours. The Excalibur arrived with no communication and your crew missing. I had to verify you weren't carrying a containment. I had to verify you weren't carrying a contaminant. I have to hope he buys that. Makes sense. But I mean, who are you? I've seen Superman on the news, and you aren't him. Think of me as a backup. A strategic secret. One I hope you'll keep to yourself. If it's important, every bit as important as using the ship's weapons to take down Blank. I'll tell the searchers that I was concussed in the Take two. I'll tell the searchers that I was concussed in the crash, stumbled away, and passed out. That'll work. So long. Ship's weapons. Hardly. Dun, dun, dun. We have arrived. The third planet. Earth? Yes, mistress. You're sure the stone is here? We have not detected it, mistress. Let me try. Yes, I believe. Yes. Bring my armor. The Oblivion Stone is here. Thank heavens you're back. That man in the fortress. Taken care of, Lois. Something wrong? Very. I went to Cora's office and found this. It's Intergang, Clark. They've taken her. They're obviously trying to get to you through her. If they've hurt her, easy, Lois. They need her alive if they're going to smoke you out. I'll get Cora back, safe and sound. And also, make sure your identity as Author X stays secret. How? They'll go after us again. They're Intergang, Clark. Unstoppable. I'll take care of it, Lois. We'll be fine. There's more, Clark. Uh-oh. I didn't want to let John out of my sight, so I took him with me. I found the note and rushed him out of there I found the note and rushed him out of there. That was enough to scare him. But once we got to the street, well, he looks different here. But the voice was unmistakable. We were approached by Bruno Mannheim. Intergang's boss saw you? I had my cap and sunglasses on, and John had his hood up, but yes, he saw us. And he was delivering a very clear message. Think about it, Clark. That poor little boy was attacked on the road by Intergang and approached by one of the most evil men we've ever encountered. He's asking questions, and I don't blame him. We've been lying to him all this time, and I don't see how we can continue it. Lois. Clark, when you first proposed to me, you felt the need to be honest and told me who you really were. I always assumed you had it figured out, Lois. With all that's happened the last few days, and the fact that we almost had to go into hiding, we have to ask ourselves, Clark, when do we tell John that you're Superman? End of book 5. All right. Dun. Oh, Skip is still hanging around. Good. Like to see that.
You kind of kidnapped me. I wasn't able to say, all right, everybody, bye. So I just had to hang on for the ride.
That's how the pros do it.
I know. Nice move, old chap. Good form.
Well, when you're Pepe Le Pew and everyone's trying to get away from you, you find ways to keep them around.
I see. Well, you Le Pew on, my friend. You're quite good at it.
Rania comments, except for Pepper and Whitney being annoyed and whine a lot, I liked Armored Avengers because everyone is aged down appropriately, unlike Teen Tony in the main comic book series. I think EMH was made before Disney bought Marvel. Okay, we're still talking about the Avengers at this point. We get to... Oh, snap, Superman is ticked. It's Superman Punisher mode, says Doug Johnson. Nah, he's not like Punisher. He's a little aggressive because he's emotional about his family, but you see here he doesn't. There's a line where you think he's gonna go a little Zack Snyder, but he doesn't because he's Superman, and this is Dan Jurgens. Dan Jurgens understands the character. Tehillim says amazing chapter. Yeah, it was a good one. Ronnie says, John has super hearing, and you would think that two smart people like Clark and Lois, I don't know, might have thought about that, especially Superman, since he can hear shit all over the world. Yeah. Let's see. FF2 says, one of my favorite current Superman book. Well, it's not current, but I get what you mean. Yeah. And Dragon Master gives a thumbs up. He says, great book. I agree. I really love the Rebirth Superman because it added a new dimension to the character without detracting from any of the previous dimensions, which is always a very challenging thing to do because, when you have an iconic character like what's more iconic than Superman? You got fans that are just like, how dare you change anything about the thing I love. And I think there's probably some people out there that weren't happy that there was John or that he even married Lois. I know that there's the Wonder Woman shippers out there that think he belongs to the Wonder Woman. And indeed, that's the New 52 Superman. He's not with Lois. The New 52 Superman was with Wonder Woman. I always thought that was kind of weird because I thought it made Lois kind of a pointless character if you're going to be with Wonder Woman ultimately. So Lois is just an adversary at the planet to annoy you and bust your balls or get into trouble that you have to save. That works maybe in the old-timey days, but after 80 years, saving Lois gets a little tiresome, I guess. That's just my opinions, thinking out loud. What do you think, Skip?
I don't know. I'm very conflicted when it comes to Superman. I don't personally have like a lot of interest in him these days. But like I grew up with, like I was just telling my mom the other day, actually literally yesterday, I was like, you're the one, because she said something about things being too comic booky or she doesn't understand like comic books or something like that. And I don't think she was thinking. I was like, Mom, you bought me like all the old Superman animated series, like the old one, like from when they were black and white and in color, and you watched them with me, and you even bought me the show, the live action one, with the dude that started off with black and white and also went to color. Like, you remember that stuff? We were talking about the Justice League because her and my stepdad likes comic book movies. And they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna watch it. She's like, I don't know if I really like know it. And then she was like, oh yeah, I do. So me, I grew up with those ones. Those are kind of the ones that I know. And like from reading the comics too, around like, the John Byrne stuff and all that, where like
the comics and then going right into the death of Superman. But I don't find Superman very interesting these days. So I'm like, look, if you're not going to respect the character and like keep the essence there, just don't take the job. That's kind of like my stance. Oh, well, it's funny. I say all that. I did order a Superman book recently, but it was the Darwin Cook run, and I ordered it because it was Darwin Cook. But I do have the Darwin Cook Superman Confidential series coming. That should be here next week. So I will be reading some Superman soon. And I actually like Superman Red Sun. That was the last Superman story that I read that I liked.
Mark Millar.
Yeah, exactly. A Mark Millar book that
that's a Miller book I haven't read.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't. It's funny. You're one of the few people I don't know if you are, even though you like some Mark Millar stuff. I don't know if you're gonna like this one because I see how you feel about Superman. But I will say this: even though that was like the last Superman story when he's the primary character that I liked. Of course, all of the stuff, like how Jeff Johns used Superman and all of like the series that he had done, like I really, really enjoyed. Maybe except for Flashpoint, which whatever.
Well, here's my thoughts on Superman. I'm one of those people that believes that Superman's morality in large part comes from Mom Pa Kent's.
Yeah, for sure.
In Red Sun, as I understand it, he's not raised by the Kents. He's raised by the Stalinist state. So that's why I said that. Yeah, so I believe it would make sense that Clark Kent or Kal-El would not be the Superman we know. Like I would actually feel like that would be dumb if somehow he still was. I'd be like, eh. So I'm cool with that. Just like I am in, what was that book? Freedom Fighters, where they got like Uberman, which is like the Nazi Superman or whatever. Like, I'm okay with doing Clark different, especially like I'm okay with even Injustice. And I don't even like Tom Taylor. I hate having to defend that guy, but I like Injustice because it's allowed to take liberties because it has different scenarios and it's not messing with the continuity of the main character. So do what you will, just tell me a good story. And I'm very enthusiastic about reading Red Sun eventually because I'm trying to think the last time Mark Millar let me down, and he never really has. Like, I think the book that I was probably the least impressed by was Prodigy, and even that book was really fun. Like, all right. Hopefully I'm back. Everything says it's running. Looks like I had an internet hiccup. Discord looks like it's running right.
I can hear you.
There we go. Sorry about that, folks. I've been having weird internet glitches where it just like pops off periodically and just, reconnects after like 10, 20 seconds. So I was hoping it wasn't going to happen tonight, but there you go. So, what was the last thing you heard, Skip? Because I don't even know where I got hung up.
I think it was basically we were talking about how Prodigy was the last story that was like slightly disappointing, but even then it was still like a really fun story. So you can't think of the last time Mark Millar kind of really let you down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying how the worst thing I thought about Prodigy is after I finished it, I was like, this would be a really awesome movie. like everything visualized. It really just felt like a storyboards for a movie. So I enjoyed it. It just didn't have some of the impact of his other works. But there's a lot of stuff of his I still haven't read. Obviously, Red Sun being one of them.
For sure. You like the Civil War?
No, I haven't read. I was actually thinking of his independent stuff, which I don't know why Red Sun would be in that, but I need to read more of his main, like his Marvel stuff. But where I became a fan of him was in the independent space with like Kick-Ass, and Nemesis were the first books of his that I read.
Okay.
I really like Nemesis.
Mm-hmm. I haven't read Nemesis.
Nemesis it's a pretty simple concept. It's basically like, what if Batman was the villain?
Mm-hmm.
Like the DC Batman that has plans on how to beat all the Justice League can beat Superman, but he's a villain. You're like, oh, yeah, it's interesting. It's Millar in his phase that he gave him the reputation with, like, I think it was like Wanted, Nemesis, Kick-Ass. There was like that phase of where everything Millar turned out had that like dark, edgy side. And Nemesis definitely has that, but it's about a villain, so it kind of feels more appropriate.
Got you.
All right. Well, I was trying to get things going. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Trying to get that be right back screen. There we go. Got it. All right. I guess can always go back to the chat. Sorry about the interruption, guys. That was really terrible. Lois. Wait. Got to go before that. RDV says Superman should always be saving Lois. I agree, but I think that in the sake of that he and Lois have a relationship, or at least a courting relationship. I don't like it like I'm married to Wonder Woman, but I'm still having to save Lois all the time. And I'm not necessarily against being with Lois either. It's like kind of weird. Like in Frank Miller's Superman verse, Miller has him with Lois, Wonder Woman, which made sense. The future, like, and so they have a daughter, Supergirl. And I like that character from Dark Knight 2 that everyone hates. Let's see. I do prefer Superman with Lois, says Tahilum, because compared to Wonder Woman, Lois is weaker in strength, but she still shows her worth. And that was something I wanted to point out about this particular book in general, that I like the way Jan Jurgens is writing, and I like this current era of Lois before Bendis came in and stirred things up. I love that Lois is awesome at what she does. She doesn't have to kick ass and be masculine and physical. That she can have other skill sets that make her really good. But I also like that she is an awesome mother and a wife. And there is no shame. Like, when I read this, I don't feel any shame from the writer of, like, Jurgens writing these lines of Lois and how she's talking to Superman and stuff. Like, I just like, oh, this feels so good. Like a good, wholesome, feminine, masculine, man-woman relationship. Like, dedicated to each other. I get it if it's too wholesome for some people, but that's subjective, different strokes, different folks. I just love that can exist. And that's what I personally like Lois the best. As far as relationships go, not because she's weaker. I mean, everyone's weaker when it comes to Superman, right? We even saw in this issue, like, even Batman had to be saved by Superman. But I guess I'm just triggered because in the modern era, it's like, being saved by Superman is so misogynistic. Like, we can't have man saving I don't know. I'm not trying to bring politics into stuff. It's just, it's refreshing. And I think I speak as a guy. There's a little bit of male power fantasy that I think most men can relate to on some level, that they like to feel like that they have the power to save a woman in need, like, and would do it, and that they would do it. Like, I think there's something to that. I think that's what comics have traditionally tapped into in the past, especially for growing boys, right? That are maybe trying to live up to their fathers and stuff, and they're reading comics and they're seeing these superheroes and they're saving the day. And I think there's a male attitude to that boys have. And I for one, think it's a healthy attitude to have. Skip, you're more than welcome to chime in if you have any thoughts on that particular subject.
Thanks, man. No, I don't have nothing to add.
Okay. Lois is the woman that grounds him in the world. She is an emotional shoulder to vent to. She's his conscience. Yeah, for sure. I like that they present Superman, even here in this story, that there's a little bit of loneliness. Like, he confides in her, like, he misses having a friend. And, like, Batman, even though Batman's this weirdo, vigilante in a cape, I love that Batman is, like, his best friend. And they have this weird dysfunctional relationship, but it's just because of circumstances. And occasionally you'll see writers break that out. And, like, that's one of the things I love about Scott Snyder. One of the reasons I got into Justice League, because the original original Metal told the story of, mostly Batman being the center, but Superman being involved. And when Batman had to come and save Superman, it was really cool. And I just liked the way they portrayed their relationship. And even though they don't act like buddies, you can tell that they're like brothers. Can you hear me?
I can now.
Huh. You two tell me I have an excellent connection. This is frustrating. Nothing I can do about it at the moment, so we gotta just show must go on. It's weird because I hear you said to me, like, Ash, so even when I lost connection, I still had a partial connection.
Yeah.
That's weird. Could Superman even be with Lois? I think he'd kill her. Those are silly. I used to joke around as a teenager about stuff like that too, but I don't know. I mean, it's not like Superman goes around crushing everything he puts his hands on. All right, so says we're back.
We're back. And now we're back.
Sorry, man.
From
You
outer
guys, if you guys
space.
still here, you guys are troopers. I appreciate it. What was he talking about? Ronnie said Frank Miller's proud of breaking up the Batman-Superman friendship with his Dark Knight. And what I was trying to comment on is if you read the Dark Knight, he didn't, I mean, physically he does break up the friendship because someone, but it wasn't, I think even at the end, it didn't, it was more of something that had to be done, not because they hated one another type of thing. It was an ideological tragedy. Kind of like, the stories you hear about the Civil War, like when it has brother versus brother, when lines got crossed. And that's kind of where Dark Knight told a story like that, where the world had just gotten so dark that lines had gotten crossed and people that loved each other fight each other. And it's tragic. I thought that the beauty of that particular part of the storyline was that it was a tragic one, not a triumphant one. So that's just my opinion, but I'm a Frank Miller apologist to the end. Skip is the cause of this. Sabotage, says RDV. Yeah, could be.
I mean,
Skip is a competitor of mine. I did rip him off. And this could be a plot that he's been like, I will get revenge against you.
Subterfuge is the name of my game.
One day when you're least expecting it. I will crash your stream.
I'm just sitting up here with the lag button, just lagging you out, bro. I already be giving away my secrets. I don't appreciate it.
Morani says, this Bendis sabotaging this because you're reading a way better Superman than he could possibly write.
Agreed.
You know, if I had AT&T internet, I could put a conspiracy together, but I don't. Ed says, accidents happen. Sometimes you forget what's going on when you're... Jeez, Ed, we're a kid's show. Not really, but... let's see. I hear you again, back again. What? Doug Don says, what does it mean to be a man? What does it mean to be a Superman? These are all questions we have to ask ourselves, Doug. And hopefully one day we find the answer. Dragon Mask says, yes, Bendis hates good Superman and tried to oppose his vision on the world. Well, he's going to continue. He's got Justice League now, so now he's got Batman and, well, not Wonder Woman. He's, for some reason, I can't remember. It's one of the other Amazon, the queens of the Amazons. There's just too many freaking Wonder Woman now. I am True Skills is in the house. Says, yo, Ash. Skip didn't pay me what he owes me. All the secrets are going to be revealed. Oh. Well, damn. Skip. You got some outstanding debts to RDV. He's going to be sending Guido your way.
Cat's out the bag. I'm in deep with the RDV mob. Ash.
Hippolyta
nice knowing you.
Is the... Why would you replace Wonder Woman with a character named Hippolyta?
Oh, Hippolyta?
Hippolyta. Yeah, that's probably the right way to pronounce it, but it looks like Hippolyta. And a lot of kids are going to read it that way, assuming any kids read your book, which should be your point. But whatever. Hippolyta. Why would you... Why you have Wonder Woman and you have a legion of successor Wonder Women, and then you're going to take Wonder Woman off and you're not going to replace her with Donna Troy in the Justice League? You're not, like, you've got Artemis running around. You got, well, Cassie Sandsmark, I think, still young. You got her. Now you got the new Brazilian Wonder Woman girl who's Amazon, because she's literally from the Amazon, because that's the state of comics today. That they literally made a Wonder Woman character from the Amazon. Sorry. I had a brain seizure there. Doug says Lotta Hippa. I was thinking like Lollapalooza. Bendis is great for fool's gold, says to heal him. Yeah, I bet he is. Isn't that new Wonder Woman Lotta Hippa? She does have a lot of HIPAA. She is HIPAA compliant. That's a joke that some of you might get. I don't know. I don't tell good jokes.
I got that reference.
Oh, right on, man. Yara Flor is the Brazilian Wonder Woman. No, she is the Amazon. She's the Amazonian Wonder Woman from the Amazon. I can't. I just can't even. I need to go. All right, we're going to read the next book. Skip. I love having you here, but I absolutely don't want you to feel like you're a hostage. So, are you going to hang or do you have to take off?
I'm going to hang. And if I
nice.
don't answer when you call for me, I might be asleep, but I'm going to hang.
All right, that sounds fair.
Okay.
I think I won't lose as many viewers this way, so I'm good. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Issue 6. Less than a year ago. Clark! Deep down, I knew this wouldn't last forever. I can't believe she did it. It's unthinkable. Who did what, Lois? She outed him. Lane wrote that? Why? How could she destroy our lives like that? If that's good journalism, I would have felt it necessary to reveal Bruce and Hal's secrets long ago. This is trouble, Clark. What now? We push on, and it means the beard is permanent. Don't joke. This is a dangerous development. It feels like the whole world is closing in on us. If it wasn't true then, it is now. The present. San Francisco. Dow Jones Industrial Average. Intergang is a major threat. Beep, beep. Their crimes beyond comprehension. Which Lois, as Author X, is trying to expose. Rising on the charts, they found out. 2 big belly burgers with cheese. So they kidnapped the only person that knows who Author X is. Her publisher, Cora Benning. We have no clue where she is, but I still have to find her. My hearing powers are key. Have to filter out every conversation, car horn, television, radio. Every possible noise except one. Now it's up to you, Lois. Do your thing. 5 o'clock. It's time. Please let this work. Can't find it. Still too much noise. Beep beep. Vroom, vroom. Watch where you're going there, loser. Shoop shoop. Ba-doop shoop. Focus. Car's life depends on it. Have to block it all out. All of it. Better. Concentrate. Look for that one single sound. One song. Is that Cora's ringtone? Yes. Cora's ringtone for Lois. She was a long... Don't know what that is. Got it. It's a cool shot. Oh, no. If it's not my internet, it's gonna be Comixology. It was Agatha all along.
That was a good reference.
You can see the circle of death as I try to advance to the next page. Whoa, where are we? Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. No, don't. Stupid. There we go. Okay, back on target. Lancaster Elementary School. To tell you that Jonathan missed the bus home, Mrs. White. Seems he's lost all track and time in the library. Normally, John can't wait to get home, Principal Dubois. What happened, honey? Having a hard time with the project? Hi, Mom. No, I'm good. What is it this time? Science or math? Nothing. Can we go home now? John was working on a biography for extra credit. Let me show you. Don't! Oh. You're writing about Superman? Can we go home now? North of San Francisco. Thought I told you to destroy your phone. Forgot. Don't matter. Cribs got what he wanted from her, and we'll have the writer soon. She was a long, cool, doo, 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 whatever. So let's do this already. Barrier before dark. I like it. Yeah, don't want to get lost in those woods. Please. Whoosh. Vinny? Please don't. I don't want to die. Ooh, oh, that's gotta hurt. Oh. Vinny, where are you, man? There must be some good in you. Shut up before I... Huh? Pop, 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 crash. Oh. I don't see how you survive that. You're safe. What's that sound? Who are you? Keys are in the car. Drive to the nearest police station. Yes, I have to tell them. Have to let them know. I couldn't hold back. They forced me to tell them who Author X is. Who was that? And where did he go? Roosevelt Bridge. Good with the setup, Glenn? Despondent ex-con just out of prison, no job, filled with hopelessness, despair, and rage. It drives you to shred this bridge, thanks to the armor you found on a crashed spaceship. You're making me sound like a total loser, Riddick. For the purpose of this show, you are. Sounds lame, but you're the one writing the check. This is Badass Nation's first try at showing people what it's like to be a supervillain. The boys in the shop outdid themselves on your armor. And we have a few surprises to make this authentic. What's my name again? Blackrock. Our second unit should have blocked traffic by now. So go ahead and rip it up. Thoom. Nice. We're miles away and didn't get the road blocked. Call Riddick and tell her to call off the shoot. Beep, beep, honk. This is gonna be awesome. The governor will express fake outrage at this, but we're saving them millions and getting great TV in the process. Crack-a-boom. Supposedly I can take down a mountain wearing this gear. Might as well find out. Sweet. Cars? Riddick surprises, I suppose. Stunt drivers. Can't blame Cora for braking, but it means I have to find Lois and John fast. What now? John knows, or certainly suspects. What do I say? I guess we need to talk, John. Yeah. Is it time? Are we about to have the talk? I didn't realize you were so interested in Superman. It's more than that, Mom. Here it comes. You know what I mean. It's her. Get him. Keep it quiet, kid. Mom! Intergang has been waiting a long time for this. Oh, sorry. That's the wrong word balloon. I hate when I do that. Intergang's been waiting a long time for this Author X. Do whatever they say, John. I'll get us out of this. Sure you will. Oh, Clark. If ever we needed you, it's now. Trish? Vroom. This road should be closed. That driver has no idea. Oh, Lord, no! The road! I can't... It's comic books. But otherwise, it would be so ridiculous that a TV news, like a reality show could get away with doing this. But whatever, I'm rolling with it. Kabroom! What? Of all the... Why now? Half a world away. Not buying it, Henshaw. Too many unanswered questions. As I keep telling you, Mr. Chambers, the Excalibur was on fire when it crashed. All I could think about was getting out. I was dazed, concussed. I stumbled away and passed out. Yet you weren't found for days, despite the fact that we scoured the island. Now, here you are with no memory of what happened to your crew or how you ended up in that ship alone. Let's just say Wait, what? Oh, that's a weird transition. Let's just say I want answers, lady. How'd you get all that dirt on Intergang? Must have taken an inside source to get the goods on us. Please, let my son go and I'll tell you everything. But... And give up the chance to send a clear message? Look at it this way, honey. Anyone that ever thought about crossing Intergang will reconsider in a hurry when they hear about this. Still unsure what happened to the bridge. But drivers obviously have no idea it's out. Can't catch two at once. So I have to resort to more extreme measures. Cleared the fire, but that only brought me a few seconds. Have to hope that Lois and John are safe. Reported this to Mannheim. I will once I'm sure she's dead. Won't be long. Listen to me, John. I don't want you to be scared. We will get out of this. Why are you saying that? Why are you lying to me? I'm not. Daddy will be here. Believe that. What does that mean? How will he know? Why do those guys want to kill you? Why does Dad look so much like the guy they say is Superman? And why do you look like the lady that outed him? Mommy! Be brave, Kayla. Take a deep breath, baby, and we'll try to swim. I can't. What do you mean you never blocked the road? Do you realize what you've done? Hey, hold on. How the hell? That car can't be flying itself, can it? As soon as I have everyone safe, I can deal with the cause. Awesome! Ha ha! I always wondered why we didn't have any other family. Oh, sorry, wrong word, Blue. This is tough when you read it this way, sorry. I always wondered why we didn't have any other family. No grandparents or cousins or anything. John, this isn't helping. I realize you're afraid, but I heard you talking last night. You guys are lying to me, and I want to know why. Take care of these people. How did you do that? Who are you? Not now. I have to get to the bridge. You're done. All I want is the truth. Why won't you tell me? Snap. Who I am. the island. You and your crew, one of whom is your wife, out there all alone, and only you came back. With no memory. Odd. Are you accusing me of something, Mr. Chambers? Aye! Blam, blam. What the hell? Stop, we're all... Ah! It's coming closer. Get on the floor, I got you. Oh yeah, I forgot about her. You. I am hiatus. I don't know how to pronounce this. If someone knows how to pronounce this, put it in the chat. I'm going to butcher it, I'm sure. Hiatus? Hiatus. What sounds the best? I'm going to say Hiatus for now. I am Hiatus. I, Penala of the planet Alistar. You possess the Oblivion Stone. Give it to me. Give me the head of programming. We've got problems. Who are you? Why would you do this? Ugh. The name's Blackrock. What I want to know is, who are you? Energy pulses. Hardly the time to underestimate someone. I can't believe you. John, did you actually break that rope? I guess. I mean, yeah. Come on, we have to go while there's still time. It's too late. The door is blocked. You said Dad was coming. Where is he? I'm sure he's doing his best, honey. In the meantime, I'll just have to... Ah! I can't. My hands. Doesn't feel so hot to me. What are you... Don't! It's not so bad. I can do this. This can only mean you have... Oh. Cliffhanger. We have reached the end of issue 6. Hopefully, I wasn't able to pay attention. Hopefully, I didn't cut off and lose the stream while I was reading. I'm not seeing anyone write anything, so that worked. Hey, look, I got to read a full comic. This RDV makes a bad hanging joke on Skip. Ronnie says, long cool woman, a badass song, Ash. I couldn't recall the song by the lyrics, so I don't know. I didn't prep any of these, so it's all cold read. My bad. Dragon Match, he says, maybe it's Brainiac destroying the stream for the cancellation of Krypton. Vinny, welcome to the world of hurt. Tree style. You can't handle the truth, John. Comment of the night. That was great. That would have been, gosh, if I would have been wittier, if I'd had my wits about me and I would have made that, I would have joked. That would have been great. I would have done it during the line where he's like, I want the truth. Ronnie says, where's that confounded bridge? Another song reference. And Ronnie says, John finds out he's a super son. Yes, he does. And Skip is still in the stream, but he may have passed out. He may have went to read comics. He may have went to do a bio break. He may have went to get food. And there's all sorts of possible explanations of where Skip is.
We do live in a world of possibilities.
Hey, there. Look at that. He's there. We're all done with the comics. Woo! All done with the comics.
That's my favorite part.
Your favorite part is when we're done with the comics?
No, my favorite part is the comics.
Oh. Oh, well, I thought. Then why are you in here talking with me?
Why not?
I don't know. Well, we're done,
You're...
so I guess now we have to go to your second favorite part.
Okay, what's my second favorite part? I don't even know my second favorite part.
Talking to me. Oh, I was wrong. That's awkward. Awkward. Dragon Majesty's laughing.
Of course.
Did you hear that Berserker is got a movie license? They're gonna make a movie and it's gonna get an anime. And Keanu Reeves is gonna be in both.
I did hear that. I watched Wes's video earlier on the Thinking Critical channel.
I should have known Wes was on top of that. I'll tell you the truth. That's where I found it too.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. I mean, that there was no doubt in my mind, even if that thing was moderately successful, not even as successful as it was, that it turned out to be that those things were going to be in the pipeline. That where Keanu is in his career now at this point, he knows that he's, aging on and all that other stuff, and this may be his last, which I don't think it is. I think he can even have an additional resurgence. He's just the type of person, not actor, person, and tied in with some of his acting that will just allow him to kind of stick around. But if he can start owning more of the stuff that he's producing and producing a little bit more, then that kind of financially eases him into that next part of his career. So none of this stuff is a surprise for me, although I am very excited and happy for him, even though I've only made it like a few more pages in that book. It's been a little rough for me to get through.
You're wounding my heart.
I surely don't mean to. I only want to heal your heart, but I gotta tell the truth.
It's barely any words in that book too.
Yeah, I know. That's
which is it's not like it's a Bendis tome that you're struggling to get through.
Nope, no Bendis, no Bendicitis in there at all.
Although I do appreciate that you're taking it right. You're not just like plowing through it. You at least seem like you're giving it the attention it deserves when you give it attention.
Yeah. I try to do that for all books. The only books that I really plow through or sometimes are ones that I've already read, but I don't really plow through books. I may read them at a brisk pace, but even then that's only because the way that the writing was set up, like Darwin Cook Parker book, like it's easy to just breeze through that, but he literally came from a graphic design background, and not the graphics part I'm putting emphasis on, but design. So those things are very intentional in his mind, how his books read, and you feel that. But I don't like plowing through. I don't like plowing through books. I like looking around at all the parts in the panel. Some of the stuff that we talk about, that Samney makes us do as we're reading Firepower.
Yeah.
I just try to make that a habit. Period.
So what are you finding tough about the book? Like what's not settling with you very well?
Yeah, I just not overly interested in, I guess just because where I'm at, there's still a lot of action going on. I think actually I'll just pick it up and look at the last page that I left off. Let's see here. By the way, I got some comics that I got a feeling you may be reading. I'm gonna send your way here. Maybe in a month or so, you may be reading on stream. Oh. So my marker is... Where are you at?
RDV says Walking Dead is set up for plowing through. But that's because... But RDV, to be fair...
that's RDV.
Yeah. You plow through everything.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm on the page where... Tell me if I'm wrong. You and you're not wrong. So it's really just the action. It's the action stuff. I just don't find it very interesting right now. Like, it's kind of and I get it because it's that type of book, and I didn't think it would be anything else. But it's one thing to know that going in and still want to try, and another thing to get in there and then be reading it, and it's just like it's just not pulling me in. But it's just all the things that I do like how it's laid out. I like how, no spoilers, but how it like the action is being tied back to some emotional memories of the past and stuff that he's had and experiences. I do appreciate that sentiment. I like that trope. It's a good trope, but it's just kind of not really pulling me in. And I'm not fighting it either. So we'll see.
Well, I do think it definitely reads like the first chapter of a bigger book. It doesn't feel like it's its own comic. Like if it feels like it's a graphic novel that they're like, here's the first X amount of pages you get to read. So taking that in mind, your miles may vary. I don't know. For me, I like. I've always been kind of an edgelord kind of guy. So anyway, I like the militaristic thing about it. I like that it feels like a setup. You know what? It reminds me of kind of like, I think there's a term for this in storytelling that I don't know. If Joe was here, he'd probably be able to tell me. Where you start off a story and you just like jump into the action, and there's no real anything else going on. And two things that are very famous for this examples would be like James Bond films. How you just like the movie always starts and James is in the middle of a mission doing something that's generally not relevant to the greater plot, but it's sort of just to like hook you in and be like, ooh, who's the super spy doing stuff? Oh, and then they can, and another one of the best examples of this ever, in my opinion, is Raiders of the Lost Ark, where the movie just cuts in, boom, here's Indy in a cave, with his little sidekick guy, and they're like gonna get this idol, and you're like, oh, what's going on? Like, and you don't have any characterization. There's nothing. You just know he's doing something. And this book does, I feel like that's what this book was. It was sort of like, here's the character. I found out his name is B, the Keanu Reeves character. I was just calling him Keanu because I didn't know his name.
I mean, that's what,
But the character B is, you're just sort of like, here he is doing shit. I don't know anything about him. But then I really liked the dichotomy of, while he's going through and doing all this gruesome action, violence and stuff, he's kind of having a therapy session. Well, he's not actually having one. There's sort of like a flashback to a previous one, but it's rolling out in the narrative.
Yeah.
And then that's what's sort of building this, like, who's this character? Why is he doing the things that he's doing? Why does he seem to be like immortal? He can take all this punishment and not die. What's going on? And there were some interesting things. I really like the way Kent writes, so it was easy for me.
For sure.
Reminded me a lot of what I liked about Kent's Exo Man of War. I just really like the way he puts words on page.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, in this format, I haven't read his Exo Man of War, only read Venditti's. In this format, like I said, it makes sense. I don't feel like anything that I've read is bad. Nothing is annoying me. It's just not hooking me. But I like that trope. Like, I like a lot of different story writing tropes. I mean, Brian Edward Hill did, a very similar thing in his Chariot book, and I liked very much. You kind of just go straight into the action. It's an action scene, and I grew up in the time of those action movies, those 80s, and 90s action movies and all that stuff. And of course, James Bond coming back from, I mean, I think the first Bond I watched was some of the stuff from the 70s. And yeah, I dig all that. It's just, just like some Bond movies you like better than others, even though quite a few of them do start like that. That's not even just like one particular one. Like a lot of Bond movies start like that.
Yeah,
some
it's
Bond
almost like a given. Like, I think they, yeah, I'm disappointed if they don't do that.
Right, exactly. So some Bond movies you like, and some Bond movies you don't, even though both of them may start that way. And it's kind of the thing that I'm running into with this book. But I'm not at the end of it yet, so it's not the end of the story. Just with the progression that I've made, I'm kind of still in the same place where it's just not really hooking me. And I'm that type of person, like, I get into stuff, man, and I understand stuff quick, especially like with writing, me being a writer and all that stuff, and like studying different story styles and genres and all that stuff. Like when people are doing like I have to turn my brain off to not recognize stuff like that, and that's hard for me to do. But I don't fully, even though I'm connected with my writing side, I'm studying as I'm every comic that I'm reading, I'm studying too, because good artists copy, great artists steal. I'm always looking for stuff to steal and then make it my own in my own stories that I come up with. But I did never fully disconnect with myself as a reader either. So you still have to catch me. I continue to say it's not my job to make myself interested in it and hook myself into these books. That's the creator's job to do that for me. And I mean, or you know, to bring me about in that way. And if they catch me, they catch me. If they don't, they don't. I'm not gonna get caught by every hook. None of us are. But you know, but I do. But and then there's also the difference between like, hey, that wasn't bad, but it just didn't catch me, and oh, that was awful, or oh, that was really great, you know. And nothing about it, like I said, I've been from Ron Garney's art to Matt Kent's, you know, words and his pacing. I have appreciated the pacing so far, but yeah, just it's just not fully interesting. Your boy Skip so far.
All right, that's well. Hopefully, I mean, you haven't finished it yet, so maybe.
Right, exactly. Story's not over on it. Jury, you know, it may come back with a different verdict. Let's hope so.
I let my buddy read it. Well, actually, he read his own, but he picked it up because I was talking about it, and he was like, he came over today, and he was like, kind of chiding me. He's like, "Thanks, man. Now I got another book on my pull list." But he meant for like another one too, because I was talking to him, and I showed him the book that you had given me too. I was like, yeah, because we were talking about comics. I was like, because he lives next door, so we have like a Mr. Wilson relationship. We could like look over the fence.
Oh, cool.
It's like, and I was like, here, check out these books. And I showed him the Dragotta book that you had given me and stuff. And two of the books I showed him, Berserker, which he had, and we talked about it. And then I also had Noctera, and he's like, well, what's that? So I told him all about Noctera. And he's like, yeah, you know, kind of check that out. And I was like, well, here, man, just take this book, read it, you know? And so, yeah, he came over like 10 minutes later. He's like, thanks, man. I got another book on my pull list. And I was like, really? You liked it? So now he's got Berserker and Noctera. And I was like, dude, I'm the same way. Like I wasn't expecting to like either of these books. I probably wouldn't have got them, except DC was like, we're canceling everything you liked about our comics. And we're going a different direction. And I was like, all right, pull everything off. And I have all this vacancy. So I was like, well, here's 2 new number ones. I guess, you know, I'll add these books. So it's kind of fortuitous timing. It seems really weird for the big 2 to, I don't know. That's a different subject to talk about. But speaking of talking, we're going to wrap up the stream. But tomorrow we're going to hangout stream. Are you going to?
At least you made it through.
Yeah, this internet issue is really bothering me.
Yeah, like it seems like interruptions because it's not fully dropping out.
Yeah, and it's been doing this for like a couple weeks, and I feel like there's something wrong with the ISP, because it's not my computer, because my iPad drops at the same time. So at first I was like, maybe I just have a PC issue. So
yeah, if the iPad is dropping at the same time, then it's definitely
but
ISP side of things.
Doing a stream is bad, but we're at the end of the stream. You RSVP'd, so that's great. We'll be talking about some things, so that's what I was just curious about. I want to talk about things now that we talk about tomorrow. Cool. So thank you for coming on and chatting with me tonight, and listening to me read a couple books. Appreciate that.
Got it.
I hate ending these things. I can't go on forever. It's got to end. So you guys in the chat, thank you so much for being here. If you happen to be listening to me in the future, which I'm in the past now, thank you for watching this on a replay and putting up with all the stupidity of my technological problems. And I hope you've been enjoying this book. We'll be coming back Thursday night, same Ash time, same Ash channel, for the final 2 issues of Superman, Lois and Clark, Road to Rebirth by Dan Jurgens. I've been very much enjoying this. I hope you'll be back. I hope Skip will be back. And hope to see you guys Wednesday night, earlier time, 8 p.m. Pacific time. 8 p.m. Pacific for a hangout stream. It's very casual. We're just talking about all sorts of stuff, not reading anything. And then Thursday nights is the live stream for the comics reading. And that's it. So, that's all.